Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Influenced by Kim. I'm your host, Hofit Kim Cohen Meyers, and I'm so excited to have you here. So today, I wanted to talk about why it's important to actually ask God or the universe for what it is that you want and need in your life. And I am bringing this up because I always create content. I record things, make videos, audios, all the things. And then I edit them or my team edits them. And when you're editing it, you hear it from an editor perspective. But then when it's all said and done and you've hit published, what I always like to do is I like to come in and listen to it myself, not as myself, if that makes sense. Listening to it as the viewer or as someone specific that I can think off the top of my head and how they would perceive the information. I feel like it's an important thing to do as a mentor and as a coach. There's like your perspective and then there's other people's perspective. So if you haven't listened to, I released a podcast episode 7, all about synchronicities. And I have to tell you, that is probably one of my favorite episodes. I feel like it's going to stay my favorite for a long time because there were things that I said in there that I didn't even think I was going to say. Like I'm telling you, the universe uses me as God, the universe, whoever, whatever is using me as like a tool to distribute information on earth. And there were like really interesting things that I said in there. But listening back to it this morning, I had to stop, put the headphones down for a moment. And actually, I was like listening to it, viewing it from a different person's perspective. And I wanted to like talk about why it's important to ask for things. So let's just dive into it, okay? Okay. So why is it important to ask the universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in for the things that you desire and want? I feel like a lot of people will tell you that it's selfish to ask for things and you should be modest and, you shouldn't be demanding or high maintenance or like, I don't know. I feel like maybe that's true and maybe it's not. Maybe I just grew up with parents who were always like bashing me for like my existence and they would always just say random shit. So I don't know if this is what people are thinking, but I also do know humanity and I know humans and there's so many like different beliefs that are installed into us like in school from our parents, from like adult figures as a kid that end up being like our truth or our morals or our values or the way we view the world. And one of the things, like you shouldn't ask for things that you want or you can't ask for too much or limit yourself or I don't know, all that shenanigan. Let's just like talk about that. So first of all, there was a timeline where once I really built a relationship with God, I decided that I wasn't going to ask him for things unless I really, 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 really wanted them. Because I didn't want to come off as too demanding. My parents always told me that I'm too demanding and too high maintenance. So I didn't want to come off too demanding to God. And I was like, okay, I'll stay humble. And even though there's things that I want and need, I will only ask when I really, really, really need something. That way it just has more meaning and is taken more seriously and whatever. So I would like really, it's like, it was though I was like Aladdin and I only had like 3 wishes or 10 wishes and I was like waiting to use them in the right time, using them like, like waiting to use them when I really needed them, not just wasting them. And I want to give like a bit of a perspective. Here's the thing. When you're trying to manifest anything, we've talked about this in a lot of different episodes that like you have to be specific as fuck. If you're general, you're just going to attract general things. Okay. So you do need to ask. Okay. You do need to ask and you do need to be specific. The more specific, the best. You also need to be like detached from the outcome, which is also a different thing in and of itself. But there is also a different rule where like your guide. So they say that every single soul has a guide that's guiding them. Some people have one guide, some people have multiple guides, but everyone is assigned at least one God. This is like Dolores Cannon's teaching. This is where I got that from. And so the guides, your guides from the other side. I always also think of that movie, like, what was that movie? Was it Soul? I feel like it was Disney's Soul. Like, I feel like they depict like having the other side, the other realms, like really well. Well, it is a Disney movies. It's really funny. Like my husband always just thinks that Disney movies are ridiculous. And I'm like, no, but there's deeper meanings like sometimes. So in the movie, they really depict like what happens on the other side, like in a really cool way, in a very creative, deep way on how you're getting trained as a soul before you come here. And you have like teachers that teach you different things and you have different missions. And it's very like, I believe, accurate to like reality in a sense. Like that's like a very deep thought. And if you haven't watched Soul, go watch Soul. I'm going to keep on recommending you guys TV shows and movies because they're just great. They're great for visualization and for striking emotions and feelings, which is the ingredients you need for manifestation. But in the movie Soul, these souls are like trained in a soul camp. I don't know what you want to call it. Like they're trained in being a soul and their mission and their skills and what they're going to come to Earth with and all the things. And so that's the movie Soul. And then you have Dolores Cannon's teaching that you have soul guides. And soul guides are assigned to you to help you and to guide you when you need help. But I also want to put in that, like, I also believe that, like, while that's true, and there's multiple things happening at the same time, and there could be multiple realities, right? Like, God is guiding you, your ancestors are guiding you, maybe like your grandparents, people that you love that have passed away, that have come, that have like become like your angels from the other side. I feel like you have a guide. I'm like open to all things, but I also feel like your higher self is also guiding you. There's like multiple things that are happening. And the thing is your guides aren't allowed to interrupt. They're not allowed to guide you or interrupt you if you haven't asked for their help. It's like they know all the answers, so they can't give you all the answers unless you like want the answers, because you have free will. So from one perspective, we have the free will to ask for help. From the other side, you could ask God for help. You could ask like your grandparents for help, or maybe a past loved one that was very close to you that's probably looking out for you from heaven. You can also ask your guide for help, and you can just ask for help. You can, okay, hold on. You can make it specific, like be like, God, please help me. Or, my grandparents, like, please help me, right? Or my guide. Or you could just ask for help, and whoever has free time will help. No, that's like a human 3D thing. But do you get what I'm saying? Like in whatever, like, how do I explain this? Like depending on what it is that you need help with, like someone on the other side will help you and guide you, but they can't like interfere. You do need to let them know, like, come help me, I need help. And really when you do, they are always there to guide you, to help you, to show you the way. And on episode 7, when I talked about synchronicities, I talked about the fact that like you need to ask for help, but you also have to wait to get the help. AKA, don't like walkie-talkie someone and be like, walkie-talkie the other side and be like, hey, I'm so stuck in life. This is so shitty. I just broke up with my boyfriend. I don't know what to do. I just lost my job. I don't know what to do. Please help me, guide me. What is my next path? Like, if you're going to walkie-talkie that to the other side and ask for help, you also have to like keep the walkie-talkie on, open, hold it in your hand. Don't just ask the question, ask for help. And then the moment you don't hear an answer, like quite instantly or in the next couple of hours, you're just like, okay, I'm over it. And you just like detach yourself from the field, because they will respond. They always do respond. You just have to keep your awareness level high in order to see the clues and the messages the other side is sending you. Okay. Which again, we don't really know. Is it your higher self? Are you like sending it to yourself? Is it your guide? Is it your grandparents? Is it God? Like, is it all of it? Could be. It's all oneness. Who knows? I don't know. Is it all of it or one of it? Who knows? I don't know. But we do know that, these other entities and powers do manifest and do exist. There's so many different validations. I get my validations in all sorts of ways. But definitely in my dreams is one of the strongest ways that I do get messages and guidance. Yeah, so I can get deep on that, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm like, girl, cut yourself off. Don't go into a whole rabbit hole on that, on the dreams. I feel like that's for a different day. So if you want help and if you need help and if you need guidance, you're allowed to ask for help, and then you have to wait for the other side to help. But from an energetic perspective, okay, this is like the real reason why I'm recording this. From an energetic perspective, there is an aspect to this where you should ask for what you want, because a lot of times growing up, a lot of us were told that we can't have certain things, like, right, like, I don't know about you, I don't know who your parents were or who you were like hung out with growing up as a child, but I grew up like really spoiled, really demanding, and like, is that even true? Like, I don't know, but that's what my parents made me believe. There were a lot of things that I was made to believe about myself growing up that later on I found out like weren't actually true, but my parents or, teachers like made them true. Like, people would tell me that I'm lazy. Like, was that actually true? Like, I don't know. But if you know me, I'm the most fucking unlaziest person you'll ever meet. I'm like, I will not sleep. If I have a mission, like, I will physically not sleep. I will stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning. I volunteer at tribute. I do that shit anyways for free for no reason. Like, I will not sleep. I will not eat. I conquer. I'm not lazy. I will put in like crazy hard work. But growing up, I was told that. So it's like, I don't know what you were told, but a lot of people, I think a lot of parents or families that grew up maybe without money, or a lot of this has to do with, honestly, generational trauma, if you want to be frank. But a lot of times you were told, like, you can't have that. You're dreaming too big. You're asking for too much. Your dreams aren't realistic. Stop imagining. You can't do that. All these like limiting beliefs that were like installed in us. And whether our parents realized it or not, or our teachers or whoever it is, an adult, that installed these beliefs, which is actually their beliefs. They were just projecting their shit on us. And their shit's not actually true. But that's a different point. The truth is, as we get older and as life went on, a lot of us attached a lot of limiting beliefs to ourselves from the outside world of what we can do, what we can achieve, what we cannot have, why we're asking for too much. And so a lot of times what we end up doing is we end up collecting limitless, limiting beliefs about ourselves, which, if you don't know what limiting beliefs are, they're just beliefs that we have that people installed into us. That's like what I really believe, that limit us from tapping into our full potential, in essence. Okay, so it's like we want things that are big and we have huge dreams, but like a lot of times we try to achieve it, but we can't. And not because the universe is like, no, or you're not good enough. It's like literally our limiting beliefs, our beliefs about ourselves that are limiting us from actually achieving that success, from not being like self-destructive, from not like, there's so many different things and categories where that falls into. But what happens is a lot of times we end up building and growing and programming ourselves. We do it to ourselves, but it comes from the outside source. Okay, I just want you to know that. Limiting beliefs come from outside sources, people projecting their shit, literally their shit, their garbage onto us and fucking with our beautiful, magical, childlike beliefs that anything and everything is possible. One of the things that really makes me mad about school, I was never a good student, okay? I'll just like flat out say that. I fucking hated school. I do love that my husband feels the same way, but he was probably better at school and got better grades than me, just like knowing who he is. But I never liked school. I always thought it was stupid, pointless. I hated it. I really struggled through it. I would, aside from the fact that I used to get bullied and have a lot of drama with kids and stuff, my teachers, I would always have like these horrible teachers that I would fight with. There were teachers that bullied me and then I would fight with when I found my voice. And then I had these amazing teachers who just saw like the greatness in me. They saw in me things that like no one else saw, and they so believed in me. Like, I have like a handful of these magical, incredible human beings as teachers, but I always had like very extreme experiences in life. But also when it comes to school. It's or I had these amazing teachers that loved me, that saw my greatest potential, that saw in me what people didn't see in me, that believed in me and just saw that I'm creative and artistic and sensitive and all the things. And then I had teachers that fucking hated my guts and I hated their guts. It was very like black and white. And when it came to school, if the teacher was nice, I would get a good grade and I would love that class and I would treat that class great. I would probably get an A. But if I did not like the teacher, I would fail that class or get a D or fight with the teacher or be sent out of the classroom like I was that kid, detention, all the things. But I always thought that school was effing ridiculous. It was pointless. It was stupid. It made no sense. I, from a young age, was like, why does this even matter as an adult? Like, why would this even matter when I get older? And the truth is, my younger self was fucking right, because school is just like brainwash, and it's designed to make you an employee, to make everyone think exactly the same. And I'm sorry, I don't care if we're talking about college here. I don't care if we're talking about elementary school, middle school, high school. All like school systems are fucking broken. They're there to make you clones. They're there to make everyone think the same, be the same. And if you don't obey, then you get in trouble. If you question the teacher, if you say this doesn't make sense, you wrote the same word 2 times, or you made no sense, like I would do, you would get kicked out of the room and sent to the principal's office, or, if you question everything, or, if you actually socialize, which socialization is such a great skill set, you would get written on your report card, talks too much, or I would get used. I don't know if you grew up in America, but I would get used for just by behavior, I guess. But it was always very interesting, the polar opposite experiences. Like when a teacher was nice and loving, I would just get the best effing grades in that classroom. I do have to say that looking back at it now, my parents know, like I've had very extreme school stories and situations with teachers and things. But one thing's for sure is that I always stuck out. I stuck out. Even when I knew English, when I didn't know English, when I had confidence, when I didn't have confidence, when I was bullied, when I was popular, I always stuck out. I feel like that's an energy field that you're just born with. And what I've learned about life is like healthy souls that are vibrating at a high vibrational frequency, that are operating from a soul-based place. They love to see the special student. They know this person's going to grow up and be something big and something spectacular, and that the student is different and there is something special about them. And then you have like the insecure, broken, self-sabotagey humans / teachers that they see something in you that they don't have, and this is all subconscious. They don't even need to be conscious about it. And something about your existence just triggers the fuck out of them. And they will always pick at you and tell you what you're doing wrong and all the things. And that's like school, but that's also real. That's just life. I feel like I've always been that character that is, or you understood me and you loved me and you got who I am and you were inspired and amazed, or I triggered the fucking shit out of you because I had something. It's not I had something, right? It's like I did, but like it's like in personality or the way that I carry myself or the way that I look, like I had something that triggered the fuck out of somebody. And I know I tend to do that because I really do live I'm a woman of my word. I'm a man of my word. I'm a woman of my word. Whatever I say I'm going to do, I do. I have crazy drive, crazy confidence. I'm really ambitious. I get shit done. I make big dreams come true. I don't fuck around. I don't do stupid shit. I have really high standards for myself, for the people around me. I call people out on their shit. Like, I get shit done. And also, I'm very childlike and sweet and bubbly. And I think the world's magical and everything's unicorns and all the things. And when you are light and you're a big beam of light, a lot of times it really triggers people that are insecure, and you have something that they want and they will go out of their way to destroy you because they're fucking irritated by you, because they don't like, I've learned this the hard way, that if they can't have it, then no one can have it at all. Like there's like people that will only be happy for you as long as you're underneath them. But the moment you surpass them, they're fucking triggered by you and they will do everything in their power to fucking fuck your shit up. I learned that the hard way. FYI, we're talking about triggers. I have a masterclass called Trigger where it teaches you how to step into your fucking power and be a badass and use all your triggers to set in a place of power and use the things that like make you mad. This is like what all these people needed. This is what all those fucking stupid teachers needed, and all the people that like fucked with me throughout my life like needed. They needed my masterclass. I'm triggered. Maybe they wouldn't be so triggered by my existence. I'm gonna leave the link in the show notes. But I always love how these discussions, like, where do they go? I don't know, but I guess this is the point of podcasting. It's just like sharing thoughts and details, and yeah. But so back to the point, that's what happens in school. And this is why me and Ben, our kids will never go to school. They'll be homeschooled. For like, I think like since the day we met, we've talked about what our kids are, how our kids are going to be raised. I had my beliefs on how our kids are going to be raised, how me and my future husband's kids are going to be raised, right? Like they are going to be homeschooled. That was a decision I made a long ass time ago. And I always just prayed and hope that the man that I meet will have that same belief, because it's so effing important to me. And like, thank God. Thank God. It was like very high on my list. It was not on my manifestation list of the perfect husband, but it was not on paper, but it was definitely there in my subconscious mind. And I'm so glad that Ben has the same exact thoughts on the school system. And what's even comical is like when he says this to his mom or his dad or our parents, like my parents, like they get so triggered. And if you guys think that I'm passionate about hating the school system and how the school system turns you into clones, that is a waste of effing time, you should hear Ben speak on this. Like, you will be like shocked. You're like, who is this guy? How does he know this? Did Kim tell him to say this? No. Like, the man has his own mind. He's a Leo. He has strong beliefs when it comes to schooling. Every time he tells his mom, like, our kids are not going to go to school, she, like, loses it. She freaks out. She starts to panic. She's like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? She's so effing funny. But, like, here's the thing about why we hate the school system. Why our children are probably not going to go to college. They will have, like, the free will to do whatever they want, but we're probably going to, like, educate them. Not brainwash them, educate them from a young age, and they will just get to choose what they want to do. But we already kind of know where this outcome is going to go. But here's the thing, and this is so effing important, and people, like, I feel like a lot of times don't even, like, actually think about this. But think about it like this. This is, like, my biggest argument about the school and the soul and the mind is, you know, when you come to Earth, you're like an open book. Like, you're not brainwashed. Like, you're like a brand new computer, a hard drive disk that's like empty. You know that feeling when you get a brand new computer? I'm not really comparing like a newborn to a computer, but like in a sense, for this metaphor, I kind of am for a split second. Like that excitement of just like everything's new, like all the things you're gonna do with it, right? Like anytime I go and I buy a brand new computer, my computer's like over $2,000. And I go and I look at it and I'm like, oh, like I'm going to create so much videos here and I'm going to create this and do this and like do all these things and I'm going to use this for work and it's going to be this and it's going to be that, right? Like you have so much like ideas and thoughts on how you're going to actually use this space. So you have a baby and it's brand new, obviously it's a baby, and it's filled with infinite potential. And what's interesting is that when kids are little, we're so sensitive. Everything they do is amazing. Everything they do is exciting. It makes us cry. We cheer them on. Like, you know, they I don't know, like they crawl for the first time and we just like capture it and we're so excited, and they stand up for the first time and we're just so excited and we capture it and we cry, and they walk, they take their first step and they like start eating normal food and they say their first word, and everything they do is just amazing and incredible. And we're just so soul-based on that vibrational frequency. And we want to show them the world and we want to show them experiences. And then, you know, there's a time where we show them different things, right? Like, this is a fireman, this is a fire truck, this is a police station, you know, like this is construction, this is a trash car. I'm thinking about a boy for some reason, but you know what I mean? And then, you know, you ask, this is an astronaut, right? We take them to a museum, we show them the things, and then we ask the child, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like, I want to be a doctor. And we're like, that's amazing. Oh my God, he's going to be a doctor. We buy him the costume and he walks around the house and he's, you know, the fucking doctor. Or what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be an astronaut. And we're like, that's amazing. Of course you can go to space. That is so cool. And we make them believe. And They imagine themselves as this beautiful human being that's going to go to space or that's going to be a doctor to save life, or I want to be a veterinarian. I want to save animals because I love animals so much. That is so beautiful. We cheer them on. The grandparents do, the siblings do. Like everyone's like, that's so amazing, right? There's so much enlightenment, inspirational energy. And we really install into kids that you can be anything and do anything that you want, right? You know that. It's fucking fact. But then, here's what happens when you send them to the school system. They go to school and they say to the teacher's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he's like, I want to be an astronaut. And the teacher's like, you can't be an astronaut. Do you know how many years, you know how rare it is to be like, you have to go to NASA, you have to have this degree, like that's not even realistic. And they just fucking crush your child's dream. Not only do teachers do that, but also parents later on in life, they kind of forget the child's innocence. And maybe like I really get this on a soul deep level, which is why children are obsessed with me for endless years. Like children just like, I'm like a magnet for children. Like, and I am childlike. So I get it because I didn't let the world like fuck me up and like allow these like crazy brainwashes to like take over me. When teachers told me I couldn't, I was like, I'm going to prove you and I'm going to show you. And I really get children and I really get their mind and how they think. And I've worked with lots of children through the years and all of my friends as children are obsessed with me. And my sisters were too. And I really get like the magical, innocent mind of a child. Also animals, but like I get it. I see a lot of like my younger self in that. And so when a child starts to go to school and when they start hanging around other adults and they're like, you know, they get a little older and they're like, I want to be a doctor. And they're like, oh, that takes 7 years. Like, you're going to go to school. You know how much school that is? You know how long it takes? And you can't do that. And they just crush fucking children's dreams. They fuck their imagination up. When a child is in school, I don't even know how this became a school thing, but I'm just riffing on it. So like, enjoy the riff. When a child is in school and they are like, I was a kid that like, I daydreamed a lot. I think that's beautiful. You know what that means? That I was manifesting and imagining and picturing magical things in my brain happening and like my life. And the teacher would be like, why are you daydreaming? Focus, do the test, do-da-da-da. And I would get like daydreaming. The teachers would tell my parents like, your daughter is daydreaming. It's a horrible thing. Like, why? Or talking too much. It's horrible. Or dreaming too much. It's horrible, you know? And that's like what school wants you to be. They fucking crush your fucking dreams. And they brainwash you. And so if you are different and you're not part of the 3D matrix world and you think differently or you question things, you're disturbing the classroom. You know, most teachers don't have the, like, they don't know how to cope with that. They don't know how to handle that because they weren't trained to do that. For free thinkers, they're normally labeled as opinionated, not opinionated. They're labeled as like a bad egg, a bad child, a kid that's like disturbing the class's peace. And this is why our children aren't going to go to school. And this is what happens. It ties in with like limiting beliefs because a lot of the limiting beliefs that we have aren't ours. They're our teachers. They're our, you know, our parents' friends, our parents, our relatives, like people that are older than us. They're projecting like their shit. And it's all generational trauma because somebody else crushed their fucking dream, right? And it goes on and on and on and on and on. So with that being said, here's the thing. There are things that we want in life and we don't believe that we are worthy of them. We are actually blocked to receiving them. We're not available. Energetically, we're not energetically available. I don't know if you've ever heard somebody say that, but it's a thing. It's an energetics. A lot of times we're not energetically available to receive our desires, our dreams, our manifestation. It's not because we actually don't deserve it. It's not because we actually don't believe in it. Because if you watch The Secret, the rules to manifestation is ask, believe, and you shall receive. Okay? Different people get stuck in different phases. That sounds so easy, right? Ask, believe, receive. 3 steps. 3 steps. But a lot of people unknowingly are stuck and fucked in those three steps. They overcomplicated it. And it's a lot of times not even their fault. Like ask, a lot of people are too general. So they're asking for general shit. So they're asking, but it's too general. And then you have other people that are afraid to ask because they've been programmed to believe that you're asking for too much. That's not realistic, right? Back to like crushing children's dreams and fucking them up, you know, or you can't ask that, or you're too demanding. So a lot of people are literally scared to ask. And so while some people might believe and be like, a lot of people might believe that they want something, which is step 2, they're scared to ask, or they're too general. They don't want to feel like they're asking for too much. A lot of times people say, am I asking for too much? Another limiting belief. But there is a place here where even though ask the universe, ask God, it seems easy, for a lot of people, it's not. It's not. This is actually super fucking deep. Like, can we have a moment? Can we have a moment to process that even though it seems like a lot of times the manifestation and the law of attraction are easy breezy, and they are, but it's our minds and how we grew up and our limiting beliefs and our thoughts and our subconscious mind and all the things that we went through in our trauma and our generational trauma and just so many things that make it so fucking complicated and difficult. It's only when you go back in time and you visit your inner child and you go back and you heal your traumas that you are set free, and these steps become infinitely easy. When you break through your limiting beliefs, when you break through like all the rules that society and the world has bestowed upon you. I can't tell you how many times in my life I've been told that I'm crazy for thinking that I can do something, that I can't do it. I'm like a character that like really puts herself out there. I always have, like way, 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 way more than the average person. I was very fortunate growing up to be able to, like, anything I wanted to try, my parents would let me do. Like if I was like, I want hip hop classes. Okay, boom, I'm in hip hop classes. If I was like, I want surfing classes, got it. I want dance class, I want singing class, I want art class. Like I had so many hobbies, I had so many after school things, and whenever things got hard, I would quit a lot of them. But I have so much exposure to trying new things. Like our parents really let us just try new things like as much as we wanted. Financially, it was available. Energetically, my mom always had like the physical energy to just always let us like be creative and figure out it for ourselves. But like I'm telling you guys, I've been told I can't do shit like 2 million fucking times in my life. And if I listened to all those people, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't have been able to accomplish infinite amount of success in so many different fields if I actually listened. But back to like ask, believe, and receive. A lot of people too are stuck at receive. Everyone thinks that receive is easy. Actually, receive is like the hardest thing, because if you grew up believing and being brainwashed to believe that like you're asking for too much, only take one cookie, like that kind of stuff, share your food, like you're gonna have a hard time receiving. Something that like my mom, I guess, installed into us, this is like a download, is like anytime anybody would buy my mom a present, first of all, if you ask my mom what she wants for her birthday, she'll tell you nothing. She has a hard time receiving. My mom has a really difficult time receiving. She's programmed herself to be that way for as long as I can remember. My mom is the most givingest person ever. Not only is she giving, she goes way beyond, like times X times X. That makes no sense. She's like 100X, 10X. Like she goes way beyond the average person. But if you try to get her something, you try to buy her something, you try to do something for her birthday, she's terrible at receiving. She'll flip out on you. She'll cry. She'll tell you she doesn't want it, even though deep, deep, deep down inside she does. But she taught us that like when someone, literally as kids, like core memory, if somebody asks you, and you're like, we're going to go to this, your uncle's house. If they ask you what you want for your birthday, you say nothing. Like, it's fucked up. And I understand that, like, in her world, that was being humble. That's what she was, programmed to believe is the right way to do things. That's to be humble. That's the right approach. And I'm sure my grandparents taught her that, right? Generational trauma. But so my mom is a person that can ask and believe, but then she's stuck at like receive. So what I wanted to say in this entire podcast is this: do ask for the things that you want. your guides, God, the universe, your angels, your relatives on the other side, people that you know that passed away, they will help you and they will guide you if you ask for their help from that type of perspective. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, show me the way, blah, 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 blah. Okay, they will help. But also, it's really important to just ask for the things that you want, not limit yourself, not think, well, first I need to achieve one thing and then I'll be like, no, just ask and be open to receiving. Because when we do ask, it might not seem that deep to you, but asking, the energetic of asking is receiving. Because if you're going to ask for something, then you're also like, there's an energy, like it basically, when you ask for something energetically, you're also saying to the universe or God without actual words that you're available to receive it. Does that make sense? It's actually deep. So when you ask, you're actually making yourself available to receiving. And I'm telling you guys, I've taught manifestation to so many people through the years as a professional mentor and a coach and in my programs and through life. And this is the part where people really get stuck and fucked in. Ask and receive and believe. But receive is such like a core effing thing. And so it's not even, you could ask for money, sure. You could ask for an opportunity, but like just the energetic of just asking, not being shy, like literally asking, like from the most humblest place in your heart. Like, I really want help attracting more friends, or I really want to buy this purse. But just by asking what you want specifically, you are letting the universe and God and your guides know that you are open to receiving it too. You're actually open. A lot of times God and the universe, you know, they want to gift us with things, but we're just not available to receiving it. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like, for example, for my mom, who I love very much, I feel like my mom's lived multiple lives in this lifetime in different segments and points. But I feel like that's like an ongoing theme for her, is not being able to receive. And I feel like had she have learned from a young age to be open to receiving, she would have had a magnificent motherfucking life. Magnificent motherfucking life. I love her to pieces. I've surprised her with surprise birthday parties. I've surprised her with gifts. I've surprised her with flights, like for her 50th birthday. I learned that I can't ask her, does she want to go to Greece with me for her 50th birthday? I have to buy her a ticket, buy the fucking hotel, pay for the excursions, and be like, hey, on Monday, you're not going to work because you're going to Greece. And we're going to hang out in Santorini together for your 50th birthday. That's the only way. That's the only way to get my mom things. You have to like do it and be like, it's already too late. But I feel like had she have been more available, that was a true story. Had she been more available to receive things energetically and just ask for the things that she needs without being shy about it, I feel like her life would have been amazing. And I'm not saying her life isn't amazing, but I feel like my mom has gone through a lot of hardship. And I feel like that has like a lot to do with it. It's like not being available to receiving, not being able to ask for the things that she needs and wants, because she was taught that that's like not good. That's not humble. That's not okay. And that's what she's taught us. When I say us, I think of me and my brother. I don't really think of my other two sisters because I feel like we were born in different timelines. Like me and my brother are 3 years apart. So we like grew up, we have like one era with our parents when it was just the four of us. And then I have my two sisters, and one of them is 10 years younger than me and the other one is 18 years younger than me, same parents. So it's like they grew up in like different decades. Like, can we all agree on that? So it's like, and when they were growing up, I was there, but I wasn't like living in the house actively there. So it's like, I don't know. Plus my parents got a divorce. I don't know what's like was actively like taught to them, but I know it was taught to me and my brother growing up. and my baby sis, like my middle sis. And so I want you, the next time that you do want something, like ask the universe, ask God. Don't be shy. Don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty. Like, come to it with like an open heart, coherent energy. It's really like in the asking, if you're standing like in a place of power, if your chakras are aligned, if you're actually asking from like a genuine place in your heart, know that not only are you asking, so it's like if manifestation is ask, believe, receive. When you are asking, and it's really from a soul-based place, that does not mean that you can't like try to manifest like a purse or like, I don't know what, a flight, right? But as long as like there's good intention and you feel good with what it is that you're asking for, like know that like by asking, you've already done like two things. You've asked and you've made yourself available to receiving. Okay? And all you have to do is believe and keep being open to receiving. I hope that made sense. I hope this was powerful and meaningful for you, and that you really get it, because it is really deep and it's really in the nitty-gritty things that make all the difference in the world. I've spoken about this. A lot of these conversations we have inside of my program, Energetic Codes. We talk about money, manifestation, shadow work, mindset, all the things. And this is my 6 months mentorship membership program where we meet every Thursday, and it is incredible and amazing. But if you're also struggling with manifestation, or you want to know more about like what I think about manifestation and learn from my personal teaching, I have a masterclass called Money Magnet, the masterclass. This has been like, from what I remember, this is the most powerful, most sold masterclass I've ever created. Money Magnet. It's how to manifest the frequency of manifesting and attracting specific amounts of money in short amount of times and becoming a money magnet to all of your desire. This masterclass is a 2-hour masterclass. You get a lifetime access to this program. And this is the most bought masterclass that I've ever created. People love this. This has been so transformative for so many people. There are also testimonials. People literally started manifesting crazy amounts of money every time that they watch it, actually. So it's actually super powerful. I'm going to leave the links for Energetic Codes and Money Magnet Masterclass in the show notes. And as always, if you learned something here and you loved it, please feel free to share this with a friend. And don't forget to give my podcast 5 stars review. It means so much. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.